Welcome, and it's another top 10 favourite albums. I've now crept up to 1996. I intend to complete this sometime in the future and get right up to 2020 when I will actually be doing a top 10. Although the recent video, I really only selected the top two. But a lot of listening to be done before I get there. But 1996, I did do a hell of a lot of listening. I was in Thailand. I had very little work on, and I spent my time, amongst other things, listening to music. Some interesting selections here. The ones that couldn't make the cut include Odelay by Beck, which was the best album voted by, I think, NME. I do like it, but it wasn't in the top 10. REM, New Ventures in Hi-Fi, I like that album. And Sting, Mercury Falling, and an album by Los Lobos called Colossal Head. That's interesting to say the least. And Coming Up by Suede. But those ones didn't make the grade, so let's get on to the 10 that did. I might just make a point that actually 96 I didn't think was quite as strong as 95, but there's still some pretty impressive material here. And at number 10, it's Patti Smith, Gone Again. Patti had been off the radar a little bit for a while. I eventually got round to listening to this, not in 96, probably a decade later, and I realised how stupid I had been for not listening to it before. Patti Smith has emotion. She brings you into her music. You can't ignore her delivery. She's a bit of a rocker as well. My Madrigal is the link. I will have links to the top 10, all YouTube links, of course, and so I suggest if you're interested, you can click on those and go to YouTube and give a listen to these selections. So that's my number 10. Number 9, Fiona Apple. I think it was possibly her second title. A very interesting artist, and I sort of found her a little later than 96, and I've continued to like her. And her latest, of course, is very impressive. But Tidal, some beautiful folk influenced country blues type songs on here. It's mainly acoustic driven with arrangements. Sullen Girl is my link. To 8, Mark Loffler, Golden Heart. Mark, of course, ex-member of Dire Straits, or sort of leader really. His solo career has gone under the radar a little bit, although it has to be said, when you dip into it, you're always thoroughly impressed with the material. He has a knack of laying down a great song, and the guitar performs magic. And much the same here on Golden Heart. A Night in Summer Long Ago is my cut that I've linked. No real surprises on here. It sort of has that sort of country style picking blues sound, and also there's an element of sort of Celtic, Irish and Scottish feel to a number of the tracks, and all wrapped up in that neat little bow that he delivers on guitar. At 7, this is another artist who tends to crop up in all my top 10 videos. Elvis Costello, All This Useless Beauty. This album, try and tell me a track that's weak. But I've selected Complicated Shadows, which is a rocky punk song from that album. Well, you know what you're going to get with Elvis. Great pop songs, well written, sometimes difficult to understand. A mixture now of the rocky punk new wave style with elements of country and arrangements and a great band. Number 6 now, I'm going for Ocean Colour Scene, their album Mosley Shoals. Ocean Colour Scene I always consider to be in the same box as Paul Weller, because Steve Craddock is in Weller's band usually, and they're very heavily influenced by The Who, and they write some really good songs. They're a really good, tight, new wave rock band. New wave's probably not the right word. And this is an excellent album. I've linked Ride the Tiger in the I'll get it right. The Riverboat song I've linked on this one, and terrific guitar and a great vocal delivery. So check them out. Top 5 now, and I mentioned on my 95 selection a band called the Boo Radleys. Well, they're in again here with their follow-up to that. Come On Kids is the name of the album, and this band are a real breath of fresh air in the British pop scene. And I've linked Ride the Tiger, but there's a host of songs on this album that are top class. They're a very, very tight pop rock band, and Martin Carr is the genius behind them, so check them out. Number 4, my best albums of 1996. It's George Michael, and it's Older. This album arrived quite a delay from this album after his early success at the back end of the 80s, but some exquisite tracks on here. I came to the party late with regard to George Michael, but he really is, or he was, really one of the great R&B soul singers and pop singers that Britain has ever produced. The voice was absolutely immaculate. And Jesus to a Child, but I've put in the description Fast Love. Well, if you can't get up and dance to Fast Love, you must be dead. It's absolutely tremendous. To 3 now. This is an artist that I've loved for the best part, well, it's 2021 now, I've got to say 50 years really. This sadly with his parting shot, Curtis Mayfield, New World Order. Of course, he had a traumatic accident a few years earlier, and people thought he'd never record again. Well, he put together this album in a wheelchair, paralysed from the waist downwards, and he had an array of guests on it, Rita Franklin to mention one, and it's an absolute dream of an album in his style, his soul funk balladly style, and the voice, of course. Curtis Mayfield's voice is so unique. The title track, Just a Little Bit of Love. So number 2, and continue with my New World theme, I've selected number 2 Angelique Kidjo from Benin. I may have talked about her before. This is her album FIFA, and what an extraordinary piece of work it is. If you like African rhythms and you like strong female vocalists, well, you put these two together and you've got it. She sings in English, she sings in her own language, she sings in French, she delivers ballads, she delivers... there's even a Hendrix track on here, I think. Maybe not the Hendrix track, but she has recorded cover versions of Jimi Hendrix, and it sounds explosive, I can tell you. She is a wonderful human being as well. She's done a lot of work with African women in the area of contraception and empowerment, and I think she did a bit of work for the World Organization, and I love her. And this was an album which really set me. Well, I'd listened to her before this, but this one really led me to constantly pick up her albums as soon as they were released. FIFA is the name of the album. Please listen to it. You don't know what you're missing. Now we reach the #1 album, my choice, 1996. You're going to need stamina for this one. It's called Emancipation. It's by Prince, and it was the first album that he released after he managed to free himself from the Warner Brothers contract that enslaved him, as his previous albums had been nicknamed Tafkip. The artist known as Prince. Tafkap. Well, here he's back to being just plain old Prince. It's a triple album. It covers all of his work, all of his styles, all of his genres. It's absolutely magnificent, but I do suggest you do one CD or at a time. Don't try and listen to all of it, because you'll lose appreciation for the second and third discs. But when you've had a good listen to it, I think you'll agree the two standout tracks I've linked below are really a taster, really, a starter for 10. There's the absolutely irresistibly gorgeous ballad, Betcha Bag Ollie Wow, which is straight from the Motown songbook. And then Courting Time, which I think is absolutely tremendous. It's one of these fast-paced jazz funk numbers with exquisite trumpet. It could have been a sort of part of the jazz scene in the 50s with, of course, the 90s production. Prince, Emancipation, my #1 for 1996. So again, comments please are welcome, and ones that I've missed, write those down as well. Obviously you're not going to necessarily agree with me. The purpose of these videos is really, if you sort of feel that I've got an inkling as to good music, you may go along with my recommendations and give them a try. That's all I'm asking for. Even if you perhaps aren't familiar with some of the genres, I know there are quite a lot of subscribers who are not exactly in love with funk, R&B, hip-hop style music, but I've forced myself to give it a listen, and some of it I really love. So anyway, that's my lot. That's the 1996 top 10. See you later.